Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we're going to have a look at the latest GFS, GM, Ecmwf, have a look at GFS ensembles, and then we'll look at some precipitation charts as well, along with looking at the live radar, as we still do have some storms today. Do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you do like and subscribe, and do remember to follow me on Twitter as well, link is in the description. Now, we've had a few thunderstorms over the last sort of couple of days. Some very heavy single-celled storms have popped up again today. There's been some quite severe conditions, especially further southwards and eastwards. Parts of London have seen a lot of rain. But it does look like tomorrow it was going to be a bit drier, and then we're going to look like we're going to have another deluge and possibly even a little storm coming through Thursday into Friday. Now we're on through the latest GFS, and you can see overnight tonight into tomorrow, you can see a brief ridge of high pressure tries to take over for tomorrow into the afternoon and evening. There still probably will still be some showers around, but it will be very much reduced than on the last few days. But you can see this low out of the Atlantic spiraling up into quite a deep low pressure system before it moves through. Weather fronts look like it will move through Thursday into Friday, and then the main low will clear through Friday into Saturday. So there'll be an initial warm front and cold front, and then the occluded front round the low pressure system will move through, bringing enhanced showers. It does hang around for a bit of time, and it does start to fill in as it goes across the UK, so it will be weakening. However, still definitely in parts of the west and western parts of the country, in parts of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, southwestern parts of Wales, definitely could be seeing some strong winds and heavy rain. And on the southern edge of this low pressure system, it does look like the isobars do come together quite close, and it could be quite windy indeed. Beyond that, you can see generally we go into another westerly pattern with low pressure tumbling away, but further northwards. Beyond that, as we head towards sort of 180 hours, you can see high pressure does start finally take hold, and that's what we've been seeing over the last few days. It does look like definitely towards day 10 high pressure is going to take hold. It is pulling in more of a northeasterly wind, so if we do have a look at the air mass, it's not entirely warm, but it's generally pretty mild, and it will mean temperatures in the day where we see sunshine can get into mid to high teens, feeling very pleasant. As we head to day 10, that high pressure lingers around. It does look like we could be going into quite a lengthy spell of high pressure. There it does look like there's an upper trough heading further southwards, and you can again see it's not too mild on the surface, but generally being dry, we could build some warmth and perhaps see temperatures get into the 20s. If we now have a look at how the GM compares to that, you can see again very similar pattern over the next few days. That storm rattling through a bit deeper there on the GM and holding on to its strength. In southern parts, there could be a wind warning in force. It does look like the winds will be going quite strong with those tightly packed isobars. Beyond that, low pressure again moves through into Monday before high pressure does take control. It does go into a sort of a northeasterly wind, so it's a bit cool, but generally nothing too substantial with that. Again, a few showers, but generally will be generally bigger showers, heavier precipitation will be cut out, and it will be generally quite fine and dry. With that, again, temperatures won't be very warm, but they can still get up into high teens, maybe even 20 degrees, feeling quite pleasant in the sunshine. If we now have a look at the Ecmwf, see how that compares, you can see again, very similar pattern, quite a deep low moves through. Northerly winds on its back edge for another low rattles through, and then high pressure really takes control. You can see by day 10 on this Ecmwf run, very similar to both the GFS and GEM, with colder air sinking southwards. Now, it's not briskly cold, but again, it means temperatures won't be able to get up to very high conditions, but it does mean in the day, clear skies, most likely, maybe a few showers in further eastwards and northwards, but generally fine and dry, and temperatures will get into the high teens, maybe even low 20s. If we now have a look at the GFS ensembles, we're having a look at the 6Z, as the 12Z hasn't quite come through yet. And you can see generally over the next sort of week or so, temperatures are just below average, quite unsettled with a lot of shower activity. And you can see thunderstorms showers over the next day or so, sort of cutting out by Wednesday into Thursday, as that brief ridge moves in, and then we've got quite a prolonged areas of rain. Nothing too heavy at once, but a lot of maybe 6 to 12 hours of on and off rain. Thursday to Friday, again another spell of rain as we head into next week with that low pressure system on Monday, and then beyond that, with the high pressure building, it does look like it's going a lot dry. And you can see temperature profiles. You can see some are going reasonably cool, but some are going quite warm. Just generally though, it does look like high pressure will be in control. Just the orientation of that high pressure will determine whether it goes very warm or very cool. If we have a look at the 2-meter temperatures, you can see over the next sort of week or so, temperatures highs around 15-16 degrees, and feeling pleasant in the sun, feeling a bit chilly in the wind and rain. Beyond that, as we head into the middle of next week, you can see some ensemble members going quite warm, get up into 20, maybe even 25 degrees. Others still around 15 or so. So at this stage, I'd say anything between about 15 to maybe 25 degrees is what we're going to be looking at. It's quite a big range, but again, we're just going to have to really pinpoint what's going to happen. I'm guessing the next day or so, we've got the pressure pattern pretty well aligned. We've just got to get that temperature profile, just depending on the slight orientation or shift in that high pressure. So hopefully in the next day or two, we can see more ensemble members start to move to one side, and we can see whether it's going to be a warmer conditions or still reasonably cool or around average. If we now have a look at the GFS precipitation charts, we'll have a look over the next sort of a few days, have a look at the deluge on Thursday to Friday, and then into early next week. You can see heavy showers again today, and we'll look at the live radar at the end of the video. Tomorrow, again, showers do break out further eastwards, but do get cut off further westwards, as we do have high pressure building in, before the deluge moves through Thursday, reaching most areas Thursday afternoon and prolonging through Thursday evening. But you can see there's no big massive rain. It's just persistent bands moving through, sort of rotating around the central low, clearing by sort of Wednesday evening. Could be some snow in Scotland showing up there, as we do have some colder air wrapping in behind. Through Saturday, again, a few showers coming in from the north, and then we see another deluge move Sunday into Monday, big deluge moving through, perhaps some heavy snow in Scotland, but again, it'll probably be quite temporary. And then that moves through, and then generally it does go much drier, even though there are a few showers dotted around. If we quickly have a look at the wind gust profile, we'll just have a look at what's going to be happening Thursday, see how strong those winds are, and you can see winds get up to maybe 50-60 mile an hour gusts, but they do start to die away as the low does start to fill in a bit, and you can see perhaps widespread, maybe 30, 40, or maybe even 50 miles an hour. So perhaps a yellow warning could be enforced with this, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. If we now have a look at the icon model, at the precipitation, you can see again, showers around this evening, overnight to slowly fade away. Into tomorrow, more showers outbreak in the eastern part of the country again, with high pressure further westwards. And then that rain moves in, and again, quite heavy in points, especially further northwards and towards sort of North Wales, Northern England, Southern Scotland. And then eventually the low completely moves through Saturday, and then we're just left with showers, and then that low moving through into Sunday afternoon and Monday. If we have a look at the wind profile, you can see as we enter Thursday, the icon is a lot stronger, with quite a deeper low. Gusts get up to maybe 70 or even 80 mile an hour, 85 miles an hour in Southern Ireland, on its southern flank. So if this icon model did come off, I would very much suspect there would be a wind warning in force, and perhaps it could even be named this storm. But again, that's subject to what the Met Office decide on the impacts. You can see inland overnights into Friday, you can see widely 40, maybe 50 mile an hour gusts through the morning, again 50, maybe even 60 mile an hour towards the coasts, as the low pressure does start to fill in, but that will still be pretty impactful, perhaps bringing down a few trees, and will feel definitely quite breezy out there. So again, I suspect perhaps a yellow warning could be enforced if this icon model does come off. If we have a look at the GM again, as we showed earlier, did have a deeper low moving through, so it'll be interesting to see what the wind is on that. So as we head through tomorrow evening, you can see a few showers break out in the east, but generally nothing in the west, and then the rain heads through, just repeatedly heavier bands moving through Friday, and then you can see generally shower activity, and before another band heads through Sunday. If we have a look at the wind in miles per hour, these are sustained winds, so not gusts, so perhaps will be a little bit lower. As we head through Thursday, you can see sustained winds, perhaps around 40 miles an hour, maybe 30, 40 mile an hour towards the coast, perhaps even 50 mile an hour towards the southwest. Inland, perhaps only 20 or 30 mile an hour. So it's really the gusts that are going to be the main issue. And it definitely does look like it's going to be the southern flank of this storm where we're going to see the biggest impacts from the wind. So mind out in southern England at this stage. Southern England, southern Wales, southern Ireland as well. That's where we're going to probably see the biggest wind impacts from this, and we just need to stay up to date with the latest models, because those winds look at the moment gusts could between anything between 50 to 80 miles an hour. Not quite pinpointed how deep the slow is going to be, so we're going to have to really keep an eye on that. Finally, we'll have a brief look at the live radars. We still have a few thunderstorms rumbling away. So if you can see right here, you can see currently we have a few thunderstorms outbreaks over sort of the Midlands, Northern England perhaps, and you can see generally further northwards there's less showers, but still a few scattering around. These thunderstorms are starting to die away a little bit, and there's a big mass of rain moving into the southwest. There were some bigger cells earlier towards the London area, but they have started to fade away through Kent and Essex currently. But yeah, there were a few single-celled storms, so some areas saw a lot of rain and hail, and even some very frequent lightning strikes, but it is beginning to fade now as the sun starts to set and we lose that sort of convective energy. But there are still a few cells around. Northern Ireland and parts of Eastern Ireland still has a few cells around, and even parts of Scotland, a couple of cells. But again, as I stress, it's been very localised. So some areas have just seen some light to moderate rain, some have seen some torrential rain, and some very photogenic skies. I do not expect we'll see too many storms tomorrow, perhaps in the east, but it really will. We'll have to see what happens with surface heating and if any storms do break before the higher pressure does move in. Beyond that, though, with the low pressure coming in, I do suspect there'll be less of these thunderstorms around. We'll have to wait a little bit longer, so at least we'll get a respite from the thunderstorms, even though we're replacing it with unsettled windy conditions. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.